Hey everybody, I am breaking from the norm today, my normal videos, because it's spooky season, and I wanted to tell you a story that really happened. My grandmother told me about this, my mother told me about this, and I have an aunt who told me about this. When my mother was little, and my grandmother and her 3 children moved into a house right here in this neighborhood on Chad Street. Now, I don't know exactly which house it was, but they had moved into the house and my grandmother fell ill. So it got so bad that she was in bed and she was delirious. And my uncle, Willard, was home one day taking care of her, and she would wake up from these dreams, and she would have moments of clarity where she would tell him about what she was seeing in her delusions and what she was dreaming. And she told him, she said, I have a dream of this house, that there was an old man living here, and he was living here with one of his daughters, that he had 2 daughters, and the one he was living with was very mean, was treating him so badly, and he was writing letters to his other daughter telling her of what was going on, but never had a chance to mail them. And he keeps coming to my bedside and telling me to look in the attic. In the chimney there are some loose bricks, and to find those letters, and that there in the attic was also a whole potato sack full of flower seeds that he had wanted his daughter to plant, and she never did. So it went on for a few days, and finally nothing would calm my grandmother down except for Willard, my uncle, going up into the attic and looking around. So he goes up in the attic, he looks around, he in fact finds some loose bricks. He removes the bricks and finds a stack of letters. He takes them downstairs and reads them to her. And with each letter he's reading, she starts feeling better. Well, come to find out, in these letters, it's an old man who has 2 daughters. Sorry, there's a car going by. And they just have to be loud, you know. Has 2 daughters, and one is taking care of him, one lives far away, and he's telling the other daughter who lives far away about the daughter being so mean to him. So she gets better. It's like miraculous. By the end of the day, she's well again, up on her feet, and she goes up into the attic and in fact finds a sack of flower seeds and takes them outside, plants them. She said they were the most beautiful flowers you've ever seen. Of course, you know, she's going to say something like that. But through the time they lived at that house, because they only lived there, I think, a couple of years, there were all kinds of strange things happening. Like things would move on their own. Dishes would fall out of the cabinets while the cabinet was closed. The door would just kind of open and it would fall. There was one instance where the neighbor came over and was talking to my grandmother and said, "Yeah, I saw you had company earlier." And she's like, "No, nobody's been here all day." And she's like, "Well, I saw a man in a coat and a brown hat walk up the driveway and knock on the door." And she said, "Nope, I never saw anything like that." So yeah, spooky season is here. So that's my spooky story that happened, that my grandmother, my mother, and my aunt told me happened. So, okay, like, subscribe, follow me, and next video we're going to be going somewhere, traveling, exploring, see what happens. See y'all later. Bye.